Okay, so this is video number 2 for Designer sort of tutorial, get up to speed. I only have 5 minutes. Well, they're only 5 minutes max, so they'll be short. So the first thing I want to talk about is the interface, sort of moving around. If you click and hold the scroll wheel, this is pan, allows you to move the canvas left and right. To zoom in, you can zoom in here by hitting the plus, or you can hit Control on your keyboard and use the scroll wheel, and that will zoom you in and out. If you sort of get lost in your design, you're not really sure what to be, this button is really helpful. It's called Fit All. You can click that one and it shows the entire screen. Really, really helpful. And those tools are also found here under the hand menu. The next thing here, this is snapping. Snapping is going to be really helpful or really a nuisance. For now, I'd recommend turning snapping off. You can see that it's on because it has this sort of light gray box around it. I'm going to turn it off, and now you can see that it's not off. And you can see that the select arrow is on because it has that light gray box around it. So Control and scroll is zoom. Just again, the pan tool, moving the hand, clicking and holding the scroll wheel down. So I'm actually physically holding the scroll wheel down. If you use the scroll wheel, the screen goes up and down. If I hold down Shift on my keyboard, Shift, I'm holding it with my hand, and I use the scroll wheel, the screen goes left and right. So that's sort of getting around and moving around. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about sort of the tools, these two tools, or talk about some of these tools here. First thing I'm going to talk about is the pointer tool and the sub-select. These do two different things, and actually I can't really explain them until I've started to draw some stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the shape tool. Shapes are here: line, rectangle, ellipses, polygons, and so forth. And so I'm just going to grab a rectangle and pull that out. So I'm using the left click to pull that out. Here's an ellipse. I'm going to sort of pull an ellipse out. If I hold down Shift, it actually keeps it a circle, or I can make it an oval. So there's an oval. I'll click circle again, make a circle. And with the select tool, I can move those shapes around and so forth. Okay. And you'll notice that over here in the layers, they're actually ellipse, ellipse, and rectangle. And when one is selected, it's highlighted over here. And then I'm now sort of looking on the right-hand side. This gives me all this information about it. And so I'm actually going to do that in the next screencast to talk about this. So this is just about sort of using the shapes, using the shape tool. Talk about the pen tool real fast. That's going to be the main tool you're going to use under the what's called the path tools. That's the one you have access to. The bezier gun you don't. We won't use the freehand tool too much. I'm going to talk about the pen tool real fast, and then we'll go to the talk about stuff over here for the next tutorial. So the pen tool works like this. It's a click and click tool, so I can click, 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 and it makes straight lines. And you'll notice that there's a little O next to my, when it sort of notices that I've come back to where I started from. There's a little O next to my pen there. Can't zoom in on it. Maybe you can see it there. And I'm going to click. And so that's made a shape there now. I can also click and make a line and then double click and end the line. I'll talk about this fill in the next one. You can also click and hold. So I'm holding the left click button, and that creates a curve. And I'm going to double click to end that line as well. That's kind of weird. I'll make a curved one and go around and sort of make that shape. So I've made a whole bunch of shapes using the pen tool and the shape tool here. I'll let you explore these on your own. In the next segment, I'm going to talk about this area over here, the appearance. So make sure you go on to after sort of clicking and trying some of these tools out. Make sure to try that out. One thing I will just show you, if you want to select one and get rid of it, there's two ways. One, you can select it over here and hit trash, select it, trash it. The other way is I can select it and hit backspace or delete on my keyboard, and that will also get rid of it. So I will, next screencast, we'll talk about some of that stuff. Okay.